Did you get hit by a Google's algorithm update this September? Good. Let this be a wake-up call, because here's the truth. Google is done rewarding websites that feel like they were written by a spreadsheet. And the type of websites that I'm talking about are websites that have 400 pages rewritten AI content. And a lot of people thought that they had a cheat code. All they would do is pull the topics, have the AI rewrite the things that were already written and ranking, and repackage it, re-optimize it, humanize it, and push it back out online. People literally thought this was the hot secret sauce. Some people even focused on keyword stuffed crap. Things written just for the robots, not the humans. A lot of ultimate guide type of a style of a content was being distributed in an immense amount of volumes. Ultimate guide articles that say nothing new about the things the guide should be covering. These types of sites and practices won't make it unless they evolve right now. Let me take this one step further. Most of the SEO effort is actually a dead weight right at the second. And here's exactly what you should be doing. Most people think topical authority is all about let me publish 300 blogs on running shoes and eventually Google will think that I am an industry expert. Wrong. That's like trying to win a race by running around in circles. Because here's what really happens. You write the same content as everybody else. You say the same things in slightly different ways. You check the keyword box, you hit publish. And then the algorithm goes, cool story, bro. I've already seen that. Pass. You don't stand out. You don't offer any new value. You actually don't give AI any reason to remember you. Let me give you a real life example here. Let's say you run a running shoe store, and like every other store, your blog is best running shoes for flat feet, how to pick a running shoe, top shoes for marathon training. And guess what? Everybody else already has published and written that, and they are better than you. We got Nike, Adidas, Runner's World. They're literally 10 years ahead with backlinks and trust that they've built over the years. So you're not really competing, you're really copying. The new game is this. Find the questions nobody is answering. For example, coming back to the running shoes here, are basketball shoes good for tennis? That's not just some kind of a random clickbait. That's an actual curiosity gap. That question opens the door to talking about grip, sole materials, movement types, educating the buyer on injury prevention, comparing performance and fit, and recommending better alternatives, aka your products. And here's the kicker. And since nobody else is covering and writing that article to answer that specific uniqueness, guess who the AI has to choose when somebody else asks that inquiry? You. That's how you become the first source in AI. That's how you build the AI trust, search trust, and brand trust. And if you're serious about winning the next evolution of SEO, you're gonna have to stop writing for robots. Stop parroting everyone else's content. Stop trying to cover the niche like it's a checklist. Instead, go after the questions that might sound weird but satisfy the user intent. Solve problems nobody else is solving in a content form. Give AI a reason to say, this guy actually adds value. And when you do that, the algorithm doesn't just find you, it remembers you. And that, my friend, is how you scale SEO in 2025 and beyond. So what is happening with this algorithm update right now? We got two nukes for a fact. One message, get real or get buried. Nuke number one, the prospective core algorithm update. Google's getting smarter. Pay attention to this. They dropped something called Intent Satisfaction Matrix, ISM. What does that mean? It means Google is now asking, did this page actually help this person? Google is no longer asking, did it rank? Did it have keywords? Did it load fast? Did it actually solve the problem? Here's the new game. If someone lands on your site, scrolls around, and leaves still confused and goes searching again, you are out. So who's getting rewarded? Not the AI spam factories, I'll tell you that. Not the 400-word crap blogs. Not the blogs that are covering every single angle of a one topic. Not the generic affiliate clones. But it's covering people with real experiences, people who actually use the stuff they talk about, sites with original angles and actual answers, and brands with depth, not just volume. Let me give you another example here. If you're a plumber and you write top 10 plumbing tips for homeowners, cool. So did 9,000 other plumbers. But if you write something like how I fixed a $6,000 water leak with a $12 tool, that's perspective, that's depth, that's real. And Google wants that. Here's a nuke number 2. Search result pagination change. And this one is sneaky but brutal. You know how before SEO tools like Semrush could just pull like 100 results at once? There was this thing called and num equals 100. That was a little trick. That's all gone. If you don't know what that is, before the September 2025 Google update, you could add this little code to the end of a Google search URL, and that would force Google to show 100 results on one page instead of the default of 10 that every human sees. Keep in mind, this was very useful for SEO tools like Semrush, Ahrefs, SpyFu, and so on. Tracking all top 100 keyword positions. This is pretty standard in the SEO industry. Measuring rankings across a wider set of sites and getting more complete visibility snapshot of what's going on. Now, with this new update, only 10 to 20 results per page will be available to crawl. So all your tools like Ahrefs, Semrush, even Search Console are now showing fewer impressions, showing fewer rankings, showing volatile swings. But honestly, I wouldn't panic. Your traffic didn't drop as much as you think. The tools just suck now. Why does this actually matter? This literally broke how SEO tracking tools work. Because now tools have to make 10 times more requests to Google to collect the same data that they would in one request. This causes delays, inconsistencies, and broken reports all over the place. We're also seeing Google Search Console showing fewer impressions and messed up averages. So if your rankings are suddenly looking down, it actually might be a false panic, not your SEO. Just the tools being blind, at least for now. I'm sure these companies are going to figure out how they're going to solve that, but that's a next $1 million question. And I think the solution will come with the time. Not to get too far away from the topic here, who got absolutely wrecked by the September 2025 update? Let's actually call it what it actually is. If your website looks like AI threw up words on a page, and hoped Google would be impressed by that, you literally got smoked. People who were just regurgitating what's already online, paraphrasing the same top 10 articles. And you have nothing new, no experience, no opinion, you're cooked. Google's like, cool, you rewrote a Wikipedia article with ChatGPT. Why should we rank you number 1? Also, the people that had thin content mills, people that had their website pages say a lot, but mean nothing in terms of type of a content. 10 paragraphs of what is a plumber or why do roofs matter? You padded content just to hit a word count? That strategy died this month. Don't even waste your energy concentrating on a word count. Another types of SEO approaches that got clapped were keyword chasers instead of problem solvers. If you built your entire content strategy around Plumber Orlando Best 2025 or Plumber Near Me Open 24 hours emergency fast now cheap, right? It sounds crazy. Without actually answering real questions or helping users, Google finally called your bluff. Next one has to be bad mobile UX and slow sites. I mean, sites that were slow and terrible with UI, UX, they got clapped. If your site loads like it's running on AOL dial-up, if buttons are unclickable on a mobile, if your core web vitals suck, Google said, we're not sending traffic to this dumpster fire. So yeah, if your site has no real human perspective, reads like it's written by a sleepy AI, exists just to chase keywords, not actually help people, and loads like a potato, then you lost bad. And this update, it's not the end. It's actually the start of a new era in search engine optimization, built around AEO, which stands for Answer Engine Optimization. And I made a good video about this if you want to check it out. The robots are smarter now. They don't just want words, they want wisdom. What type of websites got rewarded from this update? Google's not confused anymore. They know who's real and who's fake. And this update, it handed trophies to the real ones. Sites that came out on top, they had pages written with a first-hand experience. If your content came from doing the work, not just Googling the topic, if you've actually been in the trenches and shared what you learned, you crushed it. Because Google said, we want insights, not summaries. Think, here's what happened, then I tried this. What no one tells you about X, Y, and Z. 5 things I learned from installing 143 roofs myself. That right there, that's gold right now. Are you seeing where the shift is going? Another type of websites that got really promoted was content that actually answered the questions. No more playing games. If someone Googles a question and your page gives them an answer, fast, clear, helpful, you win. No BS, no clickbait, no SEO gymnastics, just answers. That's AEO. Brands that actually show authority everywhere. Google's watching the whole internet now, not just your blog site. So if you've got real discussions about you on Reddit, helpful videos on YouTube, thought leadership on LinkedIn, and mentions from other real brands, then guess what? The algorithm sees you as a trusted entity and rewards you accordingly. This is literally entity SEO meets AEO. You're not just a website, you're a personality, a source. A lot of pages that had great UX and a mobile performance were boosted. Websites that did a good job making it easy for people to read, click, navigate, buy, scroll. Sites that load fast, feel clean, and works perfectly on mobile. These kind of sites got rewarded because Google isn't just ranking your words anymore. They're ranking the entire experience. Guys, hear me out. If you really want to win in this new era of SEO, you're gonna have to write like a human, not a marketer, not an AI, speak from experience, not speculation. Be visible off your website, Reddit, YouTube, LinkedIn, real presence. Obsess over your UX, especially on mobile. This update wasn't actually a punishment. It was a promotion for the real experts, the helpful brands, and the user-obsessed sources. What this update really means about AEO. Let's get one thing straight. Google is not a search engine anymore. It's an answer engine. Let that sink in. Old game was just get me on a page 1. The old school SEO playbook, spam the right keywords, crank out 100 BS articles, use AI to rewrite what's already out there that's already ranking. Hope Google sees your topical authority. That game, my friends, is dead. New game is answer engine optimization. And this update makes that very clear. Google is now behaving a lot like ChatGPT, which means if your content doesn't feel like a real human who's lived it, done it, and explains it like a friend, you're invisible. Google is training itself like an LLM. Here's the kicker. Large language models like ChatGPT don't look for keywords. They look for signals of truth. Signals of truth is literally like ranking factors for LLMs. And Google is also doing the same now. It's learning what real answers sound like. Nouns, story, perspective, depth, clarity, simplicity. And if your content checks these boxes, boom, you rank. So what satisfies the intent? It's not just what keyword can I target? It's more like what's the real question behind that search? What's the problem they're trying to solve? What would an honest human say in a one-on-one conversation if somebody asked this question? If your content doesn't hit all 3, you lose. If it does hit all 3, you become a trusted source in the answer engine's memory. If your website was hit by this update, it's not because Google is broken, it's because your content is. And you can fix it by talking like a human, solving real life problems, sharing actual experiences, tapping into offsite signals, and obsessing over clarity and usability. Just to give you quick helpful tips here, start with auditing for answer quality. Ask yourself, would a 7th grader understand this content that's on my website? Does that actually help people decide something? Is there anything new here, or is it just reworded mush? Your blog isn't a dictionary. It's a decision-making tool. If it's not helping people choose, solve, or act, it's a dead weight. So you got to go into your content and add the real human perspective. This is where 90% of all SEOs are getting smoked. They're writing like bots. You need to write like a human. Inject personal stories, first-hand POV, screenshots, statistics, product demos, case studies, customer quotes, testimonial snippets. Make it unmistakably human, because if ChatGPT could have written it, it's already worthless. I will also recommend you to diversify your signals. Google isn't looking at just your website anymore. It's asking, do other platforms trust this person? Push your content out on platforms like Reddit, YouTube, Quora, LinkedIn. Then build backlinks from real authority sites and create engagement outside of Google. Both LLMs and Google notice cross-platform trust. If no one is talking about you outside of Google, you're invisible inside Google. I will also recommend to double down on AEO. Forget 3,000 word articles and BS guides. Instead, go laser focused. Hit people, also ask queries. Answer specific questions with depth. Optimize for clarity, not length. The goal? Let the reader leave your page with zero confusion. And lastly, I would concentrate to fix your UX issues if you have, or evolve your UX. No more than ever, user experience equals to rankings. And you're gonna have to fix it if you have slow mobile load times, poor core web vitals, especially your LCP and CLS, confusing CTAs, and intrusive pop-ups and ads. If your website feels like 2011, your rankings are gonna feel like 2011. Buried. Guys, please keep in mind, this wasn't a traffic drop. It was a recalibration of reality. Google's reminding everyone, we're not ranking content, we're ranking satisfaction. So stop writing for search engines, start writing to solve real problems with real experiences. Or die in rankings. Up to you. If you find this breakdown helpful, be helpful and drop me a like. And tell me about how you overcame this algorithm update. I'm also working on dropping a huge local SEO course. It's gonna be like 5-hour plus long. And this is the exact method I've used to scale 500 plus local businesses. And this method is now enhanced with AEO optimizations. So you're not just getting the old SEO, you're getting all the good things from old SEO, the foundational things that we still need to influence AEO. But anyways, this method has also allowed me to partner with a lot of businesses to create deals like rev share structures. And we had a lot of successful ventures together and still have today. And now I'm giving this away for completely free so that any home service provider can finally win in SEO without getting burned by agencies. Even SEO experts and marketing agencies can learn from this course. Anyways, stay tuned. I'll see you in my next video. Things are cooking here.